And we're live? Question mark. Let's see if oh, can't see anything on the screen. That's not good. There we go. Yes. Okay, it's working. How loud is it? Brilliant. Okay, so it is Wednesday. Last stream I said that I would be back on Wednesday. I didn't say which Wednesday. So this Wednesday, today. I made some changes on the stream. One thing was my head was at the bottom corner of the screen and covering up like let's just do beat up, covering the bottom left so you couldn't see what I was typing into a command prompt, which is a bit silly of me. So I've moved myself into the top right corner. I've also put the quality up to 1440p, and the audio quality is still not great, but we'll make do. So what are we doing? I should change the title of the stream. I don't know how to do that. Edit, broadcast options. So let's put it as, oh, it's the wrong keyboard. Django ampersand Bootstrap into arrow thing. Godot and Blender. Go live notification. Science and technology. English programming. Web app. Django. Sure, that'll do for now, won't it? Done. Okay. So how far did we get last time? We set up, I think I did quite a bit, I guess. In just an hour, I installed Django and Bootstrap. I set up some models, as we can see here, or a model for a squirrel, and got the database generated, got the first view and the HTML with Bootstrap, pulling in from the database, thread objects all, yeah, sure, and passing it into the template here. Oh, this is commented out. Why have I done that? Oh, yeah. Okay, so I did a little bit of work off stream, very, very small amount, because I was just using this Bootstrap card, which was fine for that quick example of pulling something out of the database, but that's not how the site's going to look. So I had a little play around with, well, why don't I just show you? So we're in Squirrel Spotter. I believe we have a Python environment set up. So we want to source env bin activate. Cool. And then we're going to web. On server. All good so far. There we go. I've put borders on a bunch of elements just so I can see where things are. Now, this is my weak area, is front-end design. Bootstrap has made my life infinitely easier, but it's been a couple of years since I've used it, and we're using 5.3 here. Last time I used it was 4.2 or something like this. You can go. Now, not much has changed. Well, I mean, there have been probably some really big changes. I don't know exactly what has changed, but overall, the structure looks very similar to what I was used to. But I haven't really put a lot of thought into how I want this website to look. So how do I want it to look? I would like, what I was thinking was these borders would all be gone except for this red border. And I would have liked this border to extend all the way to the bottom of the page, even if it's empty, to extend right down here. And then on mobile, the same thing, it kind of extends. And then all of the content for whichever page you're on is inside this red border. I'm going for red, orangey red, because as I said, on the Isle of Wight here, we have red squirrels. So I was trying to get that going, and I could not figure it out for the life of me. Well, I spent, maybe 30 minutes poking at it. Now, I don't want to spend too long trying to get that going right now. I'd rather get some more of the site functionality working. So let's look at OpenOffice. No, LibreOffice. Okay. So what do we need next? We want to images. We need an image. Do we need images? All right. No. Here's what I'm going to do. So front page /home. List of most recent squirrels spotted. Max, let's say 3. Okay. And then the spotted page, we want to have a form to spot a squirrel. So that's what we're going to work on today. That's what we're going to work on to start off today. And then the astute of you will have noticed that I've also put Godot and Blender on the stream. I'm going to start making a video game. I have written video games in the past. I did it for 2 years professionally, but it was for mobile devices. So we targeted Kindle at first, black and white e-reader Kindles, not the tablets. Then we moved on to Android and iOS. I also studied games programming at university, but that was a long time ago, 15 years ago, crikey. So I haven't written a video game since 2014, so 11 years is the last time I did anything serious. I have poked about with game engines, but I haven't produced anything. So I'm going to have a look at Godot, and that is how you say it, pronounce it, Godot, with Blender. Now, the last time I was playing around with game development, after doing it as a job, I was using Unity and Blender. And that's really nice because you can just take your blend files and drop them straight into Unity. So for prototyping, you can get stuff done very quickly. From what I understand, you can do the same in Godot. The reason that I'm not going to use Unity or Unreal, for that matter, is because I do not have a graphics card, which for an aspiring game developer is not a good place to be. My current specs are, let's get the specs out there because I'm going to pop this in my Twitch bio thing. So what do I have? I have a CPU. Yes, I do. I've had this motherboard actually for since, oh, I want to say 2019, maybe. I've had it for a while. It's an X570, and I've had lots of different processors in there. I think it started off with a 1200, a Ryzen 3 1200. Then I went to a 2600. I got the 1200 just because I needed, at the time I didn't have a computer and I knew I wanted to build a system. And I think the third gen was the most recent at the time, X570. So I got the X570 and the 1200 thinking, okay, later I will actually upgrade. I ended up upgrading to I believe a 2600, and I cannot remember what graphics card I had in there. I had I'm pretty sure I had a 1070 or maybe a 1080. I think it was 1070 at some point. Then I jumped all the way up to 5800X sometime later, which is a pretty phenomenal chip. Still good. Runs very hot, but sure. Then I had to sell that. And at the moment, I have a 5600G. So there's a Ryzen 5, I guess, but 5600G. Graphics card, everyone wants to know that. Lol, no. I'm using the APU, which is on the CPU. RAM, yes. 2 times 16 gig, 3600 megahertz because the Ryzen, is it Ryzen? I think it's, everyone says Ryzen, I think, but surely it's Ryzen, as in like Risen, no, maybe. I can't remember what brand it is. Maybe Corsair. I can't see inside the case. So yes, I have RAM. What else is important? Okay, yeah. So the motherboard is a MSI gaming MEG blah 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 something or other, not Wi-Fi one, because I run Ethernet. MSI X570, sure. It's black and red, that one. Storage, very lacking at the moment. I've got a 2 terabyte Gen 4 NVMe and a 1 terabyte SSD of some description. I also have an external 320 gig hard drive, which I'll use for backing up files. I'll put it in a different room, just in case, this room sets on fire or something. I was going to say something here. I've completely forgotten what it was. It can't be that important, eh? Oh yeah, so with the 5600G, I've got 32 gigs of RAM here, but on the X570 you can set how much of your RAM is being used for the APU, and the default is, I think it's 2 gig, or it on auto. I guess if you had less than 2 gigs of RAM, why would you? It wouldn't use 2 gigs. But on the auto setting, it goes up to 2 gigs. But you can go into the BIOS, the EFI, and set it to a higher number. So even though I'm using an APU, I've actually assigned 8 gigs of the RAM dedicated for the APU. So my system, I think, you can see this. If I do free, yeah, so I've got like 23 gigs, but 24 gigs, 4 gigs of swap there. Is my, can I just, can I list? What's my swap? Yes. Oh, well, whatever. Just take my word for it. I got 8 gigs to the APU. Oh, well, you can see it in, hello, MV top. I think you see it on here. Yes, 8 gigabytes of memory. Sure, right there. Ready on graphics. And this does surprisingly well. Like, I can play Elden Ring in a window at 720p on low settings, but I can play it. And I've been playing, I mean, I play older games. I've been playing a lot of Dark Souls 2. It's fine. So that's what I'm working with. The reason I'm telling you all this is because that's informed my decision on what game engine I'm going to start working in. Now, when I get super rich and famous, I'll buy a RX 9070 or something. But until then, it's Godot and Blender, just to get my, tip my toes back into the waters of game development. Anyway, that's coming later. It is coming later. Oh, I have a game idea. I'm gonna do just stuff to kind of small projects to get the feel of things. And I was thinking I'll do a kind of tower defense game because they're pretty easy to make. You only need a few assets that are just repeated, like a load of tanks or something, and a couple of towers. And got a game engine. It does all the stuff for you. It's all implemented. Like you don't need to learn linear algebra. You just tell Godot make the turret point of that thing, and it does it. So desktop tower defense style game. Is it going to be fantasy? Is it going to be modern, sci-fi, or is it going to be Squirrels? I think we'll make a desktop tower defense game with Squirrels. I've just realized that that's probably a terrible idea because that means I need to have 3D models of squirrels. Okay, there might be squirrels in tanks, very blocky tanks, but they're going to be squirrels. There will be squirrels. And acorns, they can just be small round balls, right? Half brown and half green. That's an acorn. Do squirrels eat acorns? I'm sure they do. Of course they do. Okay. So, what do we want to do first? Well, first of all, so for this, we can just do first. Let's put the card back in and just check this all still works. It should do. Welcome to Squirrel's Butter. Red. Sure. Let's open up we can do it here, I guess. CD web managed by shell. Oh. Oh, okay. All right. I keep forgetting about this. I should maybe make an alias for this. Source bin env activate. Right. Right. Fantastic. How do we do this? From squirrel dot models import squirrel. Okay. Objects dot first. Yes. I think I did the syntax wrong for this last time. I think I did like I think I can't remember what I did actually. But let's do it the objects dot create. I'm just gonna make 3 or 4 more. Spotted on is auto now. Oh, actually before I do that, scroll objects to first dot spotted on. Right, yeah, that works how I think it does. 7th of the 4th, 2025. That's good. And I guess you can just do this in the order of the fields. I might have to put the key in, like name equals. I might as well just do that. So let's think of some squirrel names. Is anyone in the chat yet? No. Me. Okay, I'm in the chat. Let's go with some streamers. Rai Quetzalcoatl. Rai Quetzalcoatl. Rai Quetzalcoatl. That's a good squirrel name, right? Location. Equals. Oops. Oh dear. Oh, this is fine. What's the limit on here? 8. Terraria. He's playing Terraria, so sure. That's his location. And then likes. We leave that 0. Sure. Location. Geno match Eno. Location equals. Yeah. He's probably there. He's playing Elden Ring, so you know, he goes. You have to run through that on speed runs. He's probably somewhere like that. In fact, probably region locked, no runes spent, all 200. He's crazy. Good luck to the guy. Gino Machino. And who else? Robaz, who is absolutely insane. I hope it's an act, because otherwise it's a bit worrying. He lives in. I'm going to put Finland because there you go. So I've got 4, and we said we're going to limit it to 3, so we can. Come back to the views. Now we go. Oh, actually, so I was umming and ahhing about should I really get into using Vim, because I tend to use Vim, but I haven't done any serious development for a long time, and I haven't got really proficient with Vim. So I was thinking, do I double down on Vim and while I'm getting back into development, become, a Vim wizard? Or do I just install Visual Studio Code? Because I can just get stuff done without having to worry about, well, not worry, but it's just less friction. So for now, Visual Studio Code. So I think here you can just refactor. Yeah, that's great. Whereas in Vim, it would be like, see, can I even remember? It'd be like control, substitute, and then I'd do like Fred, and then Squirrels. I've missed the range. So percent %s, something like this. Whatever. So this in Vim, this would be a substitute in every instance of thread with squirrels, and the G is if there's more than one on a line, it would do all of them on a line. Otherwise, without the G, it would only do the first one on any given line. And this percent sign is the range. That might be in the wrong place. It might go after the S. Or you could do like a line number. But if I was using Vim, in hypothetically, it would replace every instance of thread in that file, and I might not want to do that. It might be instances of thread that I didn't want to replace, and it is, but it could be that I'm really just refactoring a variable, but the word thread might exist elsewhere in the document, and I don't want those to change. I just want this variable name to change. So I'm going to see if that actually happens here. I think if I refactor this, it will change thread here and it will change thread here because they're the same variable, but it won't change this thread because that's just a string. Let's see if it does that. In Eclipse that I used many, many years ago, that's how it worked and that's how I'd expect it to work. And it even worked across files as well. It could look into other classes. It knew, oh, you're talking about in this class, this variable name, or you've got like instances of it in other classes. So sure. So the refactor is very helpful. Let's see what happens. Squirrels. That did not refactor. Can we refactor, please? No refactorings of it. Okay, well, there you go. Maybe I should use them. Or just the good old copy paste. Squirrels. And we don't want that name. We want squirrels. And we want all of them. So now we can get rid of this. Does it look like column? Actually, how about instead of having this big, as I was saying about having this border run all the way to the bottom and then each one inside, why don't I have one of these for each squirrel? Yes, that's a great idea, Ricky. Let's do that. Okay. Let's for each is this how we do it? And then n4. I could just add a Django extension or Bootstrap, no, Django extension. And it would be like, yep, that's Django. This is called templating in Django. I think it's called templating. Let's, you know what? Templates. Yes. First name. Dictionary lookup. CRSF token. Oh, yeah, we'll need that soon because we're going to do a form. It might just be 4. Typical, it hasn't got an example of an iterator. Come on, surely. Did I just scroll past it? Let me just check something. Yes. syntax, variable tags, filters, comments. This is all just going to be on this page. Iterators. For each. Okay. I'm surprised that's not on their docs, unless I was just, I don't know. Sure. Okay, fantastic. None. Squirrels, squirrels. 4 squirrel and squirrel. Squirrel. Ooh. Hey, there we go. Squirrel.name. Squirrel.location. Squirrel.location. Maybe something like this. And then another P squirrel that likes. And I think we can just do like an emoji straight copy paste into here. Thumbs up. Copy. Wait, what? Copy. Hey. Why do I keep mistyping squirrels? Squirrel. I know how to spell. Oh yeah, 7-7. Shit, you know what? I'm gonna make this italic. Is this okay to put like an italic tag inside? Like, yeah, I guess. Of course it is. Just like that. Okay. We should probably take these borders out as well because they look a bit naff. And you, I want to just be small or something. Go over there. So where have we got these borders? Here they are. And also, where's the other one up here? And there's another one somewhere. That one. Right. So eventually this is going to be, I guess these will be grayed out. And you click on them and that will upvote. All right. But for now, that's fine. We want to also do, we don't want to do all. We want to do, I think it's order by, and then spotted on. Is this how you do it? Oh yeah, also we should put spotted on in there. Um, and then we'll do this in italics as well. Squirrel spotted on. Are you sure? Spotted on. Oh. No, 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 no. Wait. Why is that not defined? Why is it saying it's not defined? Are you crazy? Name spotted on is not defined. Oh, it's because of the filter. Filter? Oh wait, what do I have? What have I? What am I trying to do here? What am I trying to say? Hmm. Making queries. No, but it is order by that I want. It's not filter. I'm not filtering. Well, I only want the 3 most recent ones. But no, it is order by. Oh, okay, sure. It's a string. Put it on. I think that's what was getting us. Yes. Also, I would like that to be not black. Right. How do I easily make it gray? Here's yeah, 5 years professional web developer. How do I make text gray? I did backend, all right? I worked on the backend. Let's see if Bootstrap's got a way to do it. Light text colors. P class equals text muted. Did that actually change? It's still very. It might be the colors on my monitor. The muted and secondary kind of look the same to me. Might just be my screen. Let's try light. It might be too light. So they've got it on a black background there. That's very light. You know what? That's fine. It looks basically the same, but it's fine. All right. And then I wanted to Django limit. Is that the best way to do it? Hmm. Yeah, just array slice it. Limit your query set to a certain number of results. All right. I mean, that's what the docs say. Which version is this? The document is for Django's development version. I mean, I don't even know what version I'm on. I guess this will tell us. Does it tell us somewhere, please? 5.2. 5.2. Yeah. Okay. So I'm just going to assume that Django magically knows. So what I'm wondering is this actually going to hit the database and get every single result and then Pythonically array slice? Or is Django magical enough to be like, don't get all of the, don't hit the database for every single record and then slice, only get the three, because it is going to talk to the database for us through query. Sure. I'm sure they thought about that. There we go. So then, however many you add, it's only going to give you the three most recent, he says. We want the three most recent. Django order by reverse order. I'm pretty sure that's how you do it. Order by. That's literally what I just did. Order by spotted on. Okay, sure. I did. I must not have pressed Control S or something. So, as I was saying, now we just see the three most recent. Great. So what's next? The next thing is to create. Yep, that's done. Might as well use that while it's here. I need a form to spot a squirrel. So first of all, we need a page. So I'm just going to duplicate this. I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to do Control C, Control V. We'll call it spotted. Then in our views, we can just type this out, dev. Oh. I should probably be using class-based views. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. So at the moment, this is just an individual function. I'll do this now before I make the second one. So this is just handling the get request, and the index page here doesn't have a post, so that's fine. But the next page is going to have a form on it, so that's going to have a post. And I could just write two functions, one for the get and one for the post. But Django does this kind of stuff already if we use class-based views instead of function-based views. This is function-based view, but we're going to do class-based views. So hopefully I can just open a file. Where have I got one here? And bank. What am I looking at? Views. Thank you. Yeah, okay, great. And you know what? I can just kill this now. I don't need that. Go away. Pop you over here, thank you. Right, so what I actually want is leave that in place for now. Class index view template view, which I'll need to import from here. UV, so put that there. I'm actually going to put, this really annoys me. It's a me thing, squirrel. I like to be verbose when I'm writing code. Template name equals squirrel / index.html. Okay. And then we can just take this and put that down here. Get that indented properly. Back and go. That means we need to change the urls.py here. Think. Oh, right. Back. Oh, what have I done? Thank you. From import views. Yep, again, let's be a bit more verbose here. From squirrel.views import index view. This view. The index, that's fine. And then template is not defined. Template of render, sure. Because I haven't imported something. Template of render, okay. PQRST, put it there. Really? Oh, okay. Sure. Template is not defined. Yes. Template is not defined. Template name. No, that's not right. That's not right at all. Okay, wait. Because okay. I know why. It's because I just copied it from. I copied from the form-based views, but this works differently. And yeah, right. Return and request. Squirrels. Pep8. Let's go. Perfect. Right. Nice little side quest there. This is good. Now we can do the spotted view, and you'll see why I wanted to do all that in just a second. Template name. What did I call it? Spotted. Good idea. We'd get a get self request and sure. This is why. Because we can just define the post function. When we have the form on the page, when you hit submit, it knows to call the post rather than the get. Because it's magic. And for now, we can just return the same thing. Excuse me. Yeah, so at that point, we might do some validation. Well, so Django will automatically generate a form for us. I'm going to create a new Python file, forms.py, and then I'm going to associate it. I'll have a form class. I'll associate it with the Squirrel model, and then Django can automatically generate a HTML form that will go onto the page we're making. So it should do all the validation. It will have, like, for the name, since it's a char field on the model. Yeah, sure, it's char field. The form that it generates for us will be a text input, and it will validate that it's only up to 255 characters. And the likes, also, it will generate a text input, but numerical only. And I see this a lot on websites, even very contemporary websites of big companies, where they'll have like a pin input, and it's a text field. And when you click on it on your phone, right, when you go to input in it, it brings up your full keyboard, but it's a number entry. Some websites do it properly, where it's only going to accept numbers. So when you press on it, it brings up the number pad. But a lot of websites still bring up the full keyboard, and it's like, why? Modern frameworks do this for you. How have you gone out of your way and made it worse? I don't know. But I'm going to eat my words in a minute, aren't I? When I do this on Django and it doesn't automatically do it, it should. I'm pretty sure it does. Okay. So what did I say I was doing? I want to make a forms.py file. Control I to ask to do something. Oh, have I turned my microphone back on? I hope so. I'm just gonna check. That'll be embarrassing. Yes. Um, right. So Copilot. VS Code comes with Copilot. Can you please? Um, I'm not going to use it. I'm not going to use it. I I was doing some C programming um, because I wrote some C++ when I was in university, and I've always liked the language, but I've never uh, used it professionally. And I've been studying like some assembly and doing low-level stuff. I've got a long-term project of building um, an actual computer on a breadboard is part of it. Out of these are just logic gate ICs. This is a 4-bit full adder, or it will be when it's finished. And the idea is to build it up into a full basic computer, and then I'll implement like assembly language, and then ultimately, and this is a many years project, ultimately implement C on that. Uh, so I thought I should probably learn some C. So I started doing it. That's actually when I installed VS Code. It was before I started doing this. And it came with Copilot. And one of the first things I was doing, one of the tasks was to write a linked list because it gets you familiar with pointers, which I understood conceptually, but I didn't have much hands-on experience with pointers. So I was like, okay, I'll do a linked list. Um, and I made a file called linkedlist.c, and I started typing like, like in C, it's like hash include, iostream, or no, stdio, or whichever it is, I've forgotten in C. And Copilot was just like, oh, a linked list, here you go. And it just spat out all the code for a linked list. It was like nodes and a pointer to back to the node itself and a full implementation. Um, and I was like, okay, wow, cool. And I read through it and I was like, yeah, that's how I understand a linked list. But then I thought, no, stop. I'm not going to learn if it just spits it out at me and I briefly look over it and go, yes, that's right. I'm not going to learn like tomorrow, I'm not going to know how to write a linked list. I'll understand it as well as I did before I started trying to learn it. So I see like ChatGPT and Copilot or whatever it is in this very useful tools. I'm not going to go an anti-AI or pro-AI round. I think it's a freaking awesome tool and it's going to be used. Um, but I really just for learning a new concept in programming, I've got to be hands-on. I've got to be very manual with it. And I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did because not only did I get some more hands-on with pointers, but I also learned what a double pointer is. Uh, I wrote an implementation and I was umming and ahhing about like how to add a node to your list. You uh, essentially you like create the new node and then you return it from the function. I wrote a function that creates it and then you return it and assign it back. But I wanted to pass the the list itself. Maybe I should have opened it. You know what? I digress. I digress. I learned double pointers. We're not using Copilot. We're doing forms. Let me steal one of my own forms. The bank. Let's go. Cancel. File. The bank. All right. Wow, that's pretty sparse, but it works. If you're wondering where I'm getting all these that I'm copying from. This is a project that I wrote some time ago. Do I have git blame? No, I don't. And I'll just show you what it looks like. I might have shown this in bank. I might have shown this in last week's stream. I can't remember. But this is where I was getting the cards from. That's what I did last time. So here we go. There's a form. Count, track. So yeah, this form is generated. It's not HTML that I've written. It's Django just generates it for you through that templating. So forms. Oh, that's interesting. Right. Squirrel. Squirrel form? Spotted form? Yeah, sure, that's fine. Squirrel. Fields equals, well, let's just put all for now, but I'm not actually going to have all. So I have all on this. From account to account. Amount pen. Really? Is that all of them? I'm going to have a look at some more of my old code. Open file. Where are we looking? Models. Amount from account and to account. Amount from account to account. Oh, okay. Pin. Wait. Oh, transaction form. Hmm. Send. How does that work then? So here's what I mean about the templating. Oh god, this is small. Can you be bigger text, please? Thank you. So what is this? How does it get the pin? From account to account. What? Submit. Form as P. Hmm. Hmm. I am very confused. Have I changed how it works? No. What is it needing to pull? 2 years ago is when I worked on it. The 3 months is I was trying to add a fav icon and I didn't succeed. Oh, I did. No, I didn't succeed. Right. I'm really confused by this. Look at the page. It's got from account and it's got to account and it's got an amount, but then it's got pin in the middle. Where is pin coming from? I know it's here in this account. Uh, uh, but we're pulling from transaction. The form is transaction form, and it's all of the fields from transaction form, which is, and created on isn't in there. Maybe it's like, what have I done in this send view? What? Form is send form. Oh, hello. Oh, wait a second. Ah, why have I put this here? Forms.form. Ah, all right. Okay, okay. Why have I done that? Do I even use this transaction form? Uh, all right, then, change of plan. Hmm. Change of plan. Right, right, change of plan. How do I want to do this? Because over here in the thing I wrote in the past, I'd obviously started to do a transaction form in the proper way and then thought, no, I'm not doing that. Probably because I needed to pull the pin in, which is on a different model. Yeah. And then I had to handle all of the model creation down here. Where do I check the pin? Here. From account or pin is none. Right. Okay. I see. So what this is saying is when somebody tries to send from an account to an account, if they're sending back to the same account, we just redirect them back to home. We don't, it's like, why would you send from your account into your account? That doesn't make any sense. If an account doesn't have a pin set, then we set the pin because the way you get an account is just to grab one. Any account that doesn't already have a pin set, you come in and you grab one. Sure. But then if the pin you've entered isn't the one on the account, then it's not your account. You've either just created it or someone else has created it previously, and so it's not your account. Then we just redirect you back to the home. You're denied. Then we do the amount, get the amount out. If you don't have the balance to cover that amount, then we just chuck you back to the home. Otherwise, we actually do the transaction, and then we create a log, a transaction log. Right, transaction form. So I see. So we don't have a transaction form because there's no such thing as doing that. The transaction is just a log that's generated when you make a balance transfer. Sure. Don't worry, that all made sense to me. Uh, what that means for the squirrels, though, is that we're going to have to do this differently. I'm going to have to make it up as I go along. You know what? We can ditch this now, can't we? Do, do, do. Saved. Might turn auto save on as well. Right. We don't need the 4. This is the nav bar. That's going to stay. In fact, what is actually going to happen is a lot of this is basically the content of the site right here, this block, and then everything above and below is going to be the same on all of the pages, all 2 of the pages. So this, all of this, and all of this is going to get moved out into a file called base.html. And then all of these pages will inherit. I don't know if that's the right word to use. I use that in programming. Inherit from base, and then they'll insert their own bit, like in here. But we won't do that right now. We'll do that later. We'll just get this working for now. And that's a Bootstrap, no, Django templating. So what do we want? What do we want on this page? That's, I don't know why I'm always so scared to delete things. Let's get it hooked up, make sure it works. So we got the view, yeah, and we want to go path, I guess. Spotted. And we call it, you can go away, spotted view as view. I think this has base. No, it doesn't. Okay. These really just have the same. Yeah, they do. Okay. What am I trying to do here? Oh yeah, the right URL. Okay. URL squirrel spotted. No, I called it index, didn't I? Yes, I believe I did. The reason that we want to put this in base, in its own kind of basing, is so that we don't have to keep copying and pasting. Because if you have lots of files, you're bound to forget to copy and paste into one of them. You make a change in one file, it does, you know. But we'll do that later. Right, so this should. He says. No, 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 yes, no. Hello? Am I going mad? Oh, okay. I don't know why it was loading. Spotted view because we haven't imported it probably. Into here, yes. Spotted view. Squirrel index. Squirrel index. Because squirrel index. Home. Bank. Home. Bank. Home. Squirrel is not a registered namespace. I beg to differ. I'm pretty sure that it is a registered namespace. God. Where is this going to be? I thought it was here. I thought this is where you register the namespace. Oh, maybe it's here. No. Maybe it kind of is. No. See, that's fine, isn't it? Squirrel.urls. What is missing? Maybe in settings? Do you that's fine because we've got the squirrel config and installed app URLs apps.py the name for bank config. Right, so that's what this is referencing in settings. Bank.apps as in bank.apps.bankconfig, and then the name is bank. And then over in Squirrel, we've got the same thing. Squirrel.apps.squirrelconfig name equals squirrel. Have I just misspelled it again? Let's just make sure I'm not going insane. Copy, paste. Nope, that's the same. I am stumped. Why? Okay, it's Squirrel is not a registered namespace. Okay. Okay. Sure. But it. Okay. I mean, this should work then, but Spotted, yeah. But I want the namespace. Okay. Why do you do this to me? Where's this? Where is this getting the namespace from? Maybe entire? No. What is he waffling about here? In your main urls.py file, line something like, and then with namespace. Namespace equals home. But in my bank, in the main urls.py, I'm not giving it a namespace here. Okay, you know what? This is 4.2, and we're on 5.2. I wonder if that's just a change they've made. See if we can see namespace. Yeah. Application namespace. Namespace. Sure. Oh. Hmm. Oh, hello. What's this? No. Maybe app name equals bank. This is what it is. I bet that's it. I bet that's it. Yes, it is. App name. All right. Squirrel. Right. Okay. Now the reason that I wanted that, even though it was working, because it was just in the scope of its own namespace, the reason why you want the namespace to be working correctly is because if I had other apps besides Squirrel, and I wanted to have a templated URL like this into a different namespace, you gotta have the namespace working, right? So sure, that should work. We did it. So what's next? Right, now we need to actually make the thing. Let's just copy and paste. Let's just copy and paste. And then we need a view. Can I collapse that? No, can I collapse that? Yes. Let's close all these down. View. I'm not sure why I've passed over here PO as request or post. I don't think I'm using that in here. I'm not sure why I've done that, but I'm sure it made sense at the time. We're not going to do it here. And we're going to do form equals forms for spotted form. Right. Huzzah! Transfer. It's just going to be in the card, isn't it? Somewhere. The word transfer. Squirrel spotted. Okay, you know what, a card might be okay for this. We want to center align that. I might have deleted too much. Yeah, actually, we do want... Let's not do the card, let's do it like this. Let's do it like... Wow, that looks disgusting. The This is what we call programmer artwork. It's functional. CSRF, I guess that works. Okay, so this CSRF token is a cross-site request forgery token, which prevents people from doing cross-site request forgery. So there you go. That's intended. So I think we can just do squirrel .objects .create. There's probably, I probably don't even need to actually do this. But I'm going to do it like this. From account, what am I talking about? Okay. So what do we need? We need a name is request.post name. Location. Oh, let's see. Yeah, you see likes. That was I was talking about earlier. I'm pressing letters on my keyboard. It won't let me enter letters, but I can do numbers. That probably shouldn't be on there. We'll exclude that in a minute. Name and location. Location. Bish bash bosh. We'll put likes in just so we can test that things. Post. I don't think this is case sensitive, but the the Oh my god, I've forgotten this word. The way that people do it is the standard, the thing. Get and post is always capitalized for some reason. They don't have to be. I'm not sure if it's case sensitive here, but get and post are typically capitalized. HTTP get. Yeah, see, look, get, post, get, post. Sure. Standard? What's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Anyone in chat want to help me out? No. Uh, likes. Okay, so now. Ooh, hello. Oh, that's a bit scary. I don't want these things popping up. Who knows what I've been typing? Oh, look. It's even gone ahead. The form that it's generated from this one line, it even knows that this is for your autocomplete in your browser. It knows this is location. And I just ducks my health, but sure. Okay, squirrel is not defined. Squirrel because I've either misspelled it. Yes, I have. Continue. Squirrel got an likeys. And also then, squirrel spotted. Home? James Belder, sound that. 22. And it hasn't rendered the page. What I actually want to do here is do the do I even have a HTTP response anymore? No, so redirect. I need to import reverse as well. UV. So I don't think I have. Oh, I still got render. I don't have loader anymore. Get rid of that. Home spot. Mr. Ricky Oswald. Sandown. 2. Amazing. Should we make this? I think just a bit of padding on here would help. Just like fucking P1. No, that is the wrong page. Oh yeah, look, card title. It's not in a card. P1. Yeah, that's a bit better, isn't it? Hmm. That'll do. That'll do for now. Let's see, what time is it? I have no idea how long I've been streaming for. But we have got a form to spot a squirrel. All right. I think that's enough squirrel spotting for today. What we need to do now is move on to squirrel spotting. Deactivate. So I already have Godot installed. I think Godot creeps. I do. So what tools am I going to use? So to make a video game, you need a game engine or a game renderer at least. Uh, game engine, we're using Godot. I'm going to need to make some assets for the game. I'm going straight into 3D um, because ultimately the type of games that I want to make are going to be 3D. There's no point messing around with 2D. I mean, 3D games have 2D elements anyway. Um, so a way to create assets. Well, in Godot, you can make like very crude models out of shapes. But I'm going to use, what did I say? Blender. I'm going to use Blender. I have used Blender briefly in the past. I was following the tutorials of Quill18, who's a Twitch streamer and YouTuber. And he's kind of like me. He's a programmer and not very artsy. So he does a lot of programmer art. And the way that he taught Blender just really clicked. The video he's got, I'm probably going to bring it up in a minute. It's like an hour long maybe, and it's not overly verbose. He just gets down to make a basic looking tank. You make a cube and you extrude and runs over the hotkeys really quickly. Hopefully Blender hasn't changed too much since that video, because I think that was 2017, circa, maybe 2015, 10 years ago. But, it's probably fine. We'll find out in a moment. And I'm also going to use GIMP as the GNU image manipulation program for textures. I don't think I'll need to use it today. It's already installed, but I do not have. Oh, Blender. Let's go. So let's get Blender. Oof, this is slow. 13 megabytes a second. Ugh. Because I've been unemployed for 8 months, I had to downgrade my internet from 300 meg to 100 meg. Oh, how terrible. But some good news. I got employed today, so I now have a job. I'm going to move you to 4, and then we're going to open up Blender. I love Linux. How easy was that? Literally just install Blender. There you go. What are we doing? Theme, dark, key map, Blender, mouse select left, spacebar, action, play. Ooh. Ah. Mm. Spacebar, action, play. Before I continue that, because I don't know where you change it, I'm going to bring up Quill's video and we're going to watch. Sure. Quill 17? That's his younger brother or older brother. Blender tutorial. Sure. Here we go. Is that the one? That looks like the one. 8 years ago. Unity Mega Tutorial, Blender 3D, blah blah blah. Yeah, 11 years ago. Oof. 11 years ago. Okay, let's just go for it. This is surely going to work, isn't it? Blender's going to work in exactly the same way. Let's jump to the bit. This bit. Right. So I don't think you can hear Quill. Maybe you can. Let's find out. Okay, you can't hear him, but I can. And I'm just going to go with that. That's really not ideal. That's loud. Yes? Yeah, layout's much the same. That's changed. Clicking doesn't. Yep. Okay. And okay. Shift A. All right. Now I thought that spacebar. I think he's going to start talking about spacebar as the shortcut. So he's just saying to add, it's deleting everything out of the scene because you don't need lights and camera when you're creating meshes for a game. Shift A to bring up the add menu. Left click is moves this selection thing around, but right click is how you actually select things. Okay, he's going to, I don't have a numpad. Oh no. My keyboard, which I really like, um, yeah, this one. Sure, it doesn't have a numpad, right? There you go. He just said the most powerful tool in Blender is the spacebar. I could turn on closed caption, couldn't I? Most powerful tool in Blender is the spacebar. The spacebar brings up this menu. Brings up this menu you can type in. Right. Yes. So it's search, right? I'm glad I noticed that. What I should really do is find a contemporary, up-to-date Blender tutorial and learn to use Blender, but I'm not going to. I'm going to switch it to search and then voila. A, delete, spacebar, snap. What is he saying? Left. Oh, oh, uh-oh. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, this is bad. This is really bad. My mouse, my favorite mouse, and I don't think they make these anymore. The middle, the middle click doesn't work. The middle button doesn't work, and that's how you go. That's how that's going to be rotate. It sometimes works. Oh no. How do you rotate the camera? How do you pan the camera for that matter? Unless it's like a modifier. Oh no. And I do have another mouse here, which is not what it looks like. It looks like the super cool, uh, is it Corsair MX something? It's a rip off of that. I got this off bloody AliExpress, and this is rubbish. Um, the shape of it's lovely. They've copied a really good mouse, but it's just low quality. It's horrible to use. But the middle button does work. But I'm using it for my laptop over there. All right, so let me just see if my hunch is correct. I might have to. Oh, come on. Yeah, middle mouse is going to be something I need for Blender. Oh, what a pain in the ass. I don't know what to do about this really, guys. I want to get into game dev. I need a new mouse. I can use this mouse. I can use this mouse. I'm gonna have to buy a new mouse. Okay, but I'm skint. I've just got a job today. Ah, oh, what a nightmare. I've got so many things I need to pay for. I can't buy a new mouse when I've actually got one here. Okay, I just have to use this for now. Oh my god. All right, but straight away I'm noticing that other things are different. So he was saying in Quill 18's video, he's saying that oh, in Blender, left click doesn't do what you'd think it do. It doesn't select stuff. It moves this cursor around. That the cursor being that red thing in the middle of the screen there. It's not what it does anymore. Now, what did I do to move it? Right click. He said, yeah. Now it's shift and right click moves it around. So things are different. I'm gonna need to go away and find a new Blender tutorial. Crap. Right. There's one that I did actually follow, I don't know, a year ago, something like this, where you make a donut. But it was a good tutorial, but it was a tutorial for making Blender stuff that is going to be rendered. You know, you make a scene or an object in Blender, and then you render it in there. It wasn't for making assets that you export to be imported into your video game. And that's why I really like the Quill 18 one, because he's just cut to the chase of very quickly, this is how you throw together as a programmer, how you can open up Blender and throw together an asset to be used in your video game, just to get things going. And I'll show you the kind of, this is the level of detail he's talking about. He put all this together in Blender very easily, and that's not going to be what the game looks like, but for him as a programmer to get something going, that's all you need. And then the person who is the 3D modeler will do a much better job of it, and you replace these assets with those. And by the way, here's the donut tutorial, which you can see looks fantastic, um, but is not something that you would make to be exported to be put into a video game. So what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Well, it's going to go on the big whiteboard of truth, isn't it? Let's have a look. We got the whiteboard of truth, which has not changed too much. It's still here. It's, I don't know if you can read anything that's on there, but it's got stuff about squirrels. So I'm gonna have to put Blender on it. I've got these pens. You know, I bought these pens in. I bought them when I was working doing back-end stuff for healthcare, and I was writing a system where what was it doing? Essentially, we were getting like hospitals' computers to be able to send messages out to pharmacies, and the pharmacies are kind of assigned to hospitals in a way through CCGs, clinical commissioning groups. Are like this area, these pharmacies are under our is catchment. This is in our these ones are in our area. For the most part, that followed county lines, which are kind of like states in the United States, areas of the country, but not always. Sometimes there'd be some pharmacies that were over the border, but for the CCG. And one part of my job was not just writing the code for all of this. I also had to liaise with um, pharmacies and hospitals and know which pharmacies the system should be able to send messages out to from certain hospitals. But there wasn't a list. There was no kind of central like, oh, these pharmacies belong to this. And I had to spend a lot of time talking to different managers at hospitals and NHS England to start to figure out like, okay, who's got which ones. And so I ended up printing off a big map of the country, which had the county lines on it in black and white. And then I bought these pens and I started just figuring out, okay, like, I think I overdrew from the county lines the CCG areas. I think that must have been what it was. This was in 2016, and I bought these pens to draw that map, to draw on that map, and that's all I ever used them for. I bought the whole pack, and they still work, and they work really well as whiteboard pens. I've had them all this time. I've used them like a couple of times for like I don't know what, writing on things. That's a really dumb thing to say. They're pens. That's what they're for. Um, but yeah, man, 2016. That's a long time ago. 9 years ago. Okay, Blender. What color are we going to write Blender in? Has Blender got a color? It's orange, isn't it? That's Blender's color. Let's do this in orange. We've got orange. Orange, you glad you've got these pens? Ha 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 ha. And it goes next to red squirrels, which are in red. So Blender. Blender. Alright. Okay, okay. It's good. It's good. It's fine. What we can do for now is, um, speed run. Let's do a speed run of not Dark Souls 2. No. Godot tutorial. Let's just jump in and where is it? Well, you can see here this is Godot. I've already started a project here called Creeps. That is the 2D tutorial, the official 2D tutorial. Where to start video tutorials, text tutorials, which is somewhere. Here we go. Yeah. I'm not going to do that. But, let's open it. I can't remember. Opening will change it. Yeah, sure. Whatever. I should. That's fine. He takes. Yeah, sure. Just do it. Just do it. Okay, I'm really opening a big can of worms here, aren't I? With this game development stuff. I need to find a more appropriate blended tutorial because the one that I like is 11 years old. Also, I'm running on Arch Linux. Arch Linux is a rolling release distro, so all of the packages, the software you install is always kind of bleeding edge, they say. Sounds very fancy. It's always kind of the most recent version, which is great if you want new features, but that's not really a great idea when you're working on big game projects, or not even just game projects actually, but big projects, software projects. You don't always want to be updating to the latest version. You start your game project and say you're in like version 4.3. You don't want to update your game engine because when you're in the middle of making your game, if you then update the game engine, then you have to update the way your game works to go along with the game engine updates. And if I'm on a rolling release distro, every time I want to, I do updates once a week, or if I need to install a new program, and it's like, well, to install that program, you need to update because of the dependencies, it's going to update Godot. And I don't want that happening when I'm in the middle of a project because I don't want it. I mean, it might not happen, but it can happen that there's some big sweeping change in the game engine itself. That means then you have to spend a load of time changing the implementation of your game to keep in line with that, which is what just happened there. I wrote that, I followed this tutorial in version 4.3 and now we're on 4.4. I opened it up and it's changed some things. And this is just the basic 2D very first game tutorial. So the can of worms I've just opened is, if I'm going to do game development, do I need to go on I need to switch away from Arch Linux so that I'm not on a rolling release distro, so that I can keep my system up to date without having to update all of the packages like Godot. Okay, I know how I'm going to do this. We'll stick with Arch for now. I'm going to stay with Arch for now. I know what I'm going to do. Remember I said I don't have a GPU. I don't have one. And this is fine for what I'm doing at the moment. I can play video games. But I am eventually going to buy a graphics card. So what I will do is I'll buy the graphics card, I'll install it, and I'll run a Windows virtual machine inside of Arch Linux, and I'll pass through the GPU to that virtual machine, and then that virtual machine, yeah, I'll have like Windows 11, and I'll pass through the GPU to the virtual machine. Right. Now, wha- oh, what am I doing? That's not what I want. I want beat up GPU. So this 5600 Ryzen 5 has got 6 cores and 12 threads. So when I'm, wait, oh god, how am I going to do this? Okay, if I've got an actual GPU, then I mean, I could just install Windows. I really don't want to have Windows as my OS. I like Arch Linux. I like what I've got. Okay. Game dev. We're doing it. How are we going to do this? So Arch host. Yes. I will I will keep using the APU as the primary display, but I'll drop it back down to 2 gigs. I probably don't even need 2 gigs. So then I have, out of the 32 gigs, I'll have 30 gigs of RAM available. Uh, then I'll have, and that'll be for my desktop and everything. Then I can have a Windows, it'll be a Windows 11 because Windows 10 is coming to end of life in October. And I can pass through, because when I'm doing game development, I won't really be doing anything on the host system. It would just be, yeah, I'll have the VM running full screen. So I can pass through, what did I say it was? 6 cores, 12 threads, 612. Cores, 612. So I could pass through like 4 cores, which would be 8 threads, which is fine. And then I'll pass through the graphics card, which I'm just going to pencil in as a 9070. It might not be. I mean, they cost about £600-700, 650 I think. So like for a cheap one. Sure. Yeah, look, £600. That's bloody good, isn't it? That's in stock as well. He says out of stock, in stock, in stock. But I don't have 600. But so this is going to be down the line. So I could pick up like a 5600 or something to just tide me over. But you can get them for like 100 quid. So pass through that and assign like 16 gigs of RAM. I'd probably even do more actually. I'd probably do 24 gigs. Because the host won't really need that much when I'm just doing everything inside the virtual machine. What will the host be doing? I mean, OBS, I guess I can do all the capture inside the virtual machine. The other thing is my storage. So I probably need some more storage as well. this motherboard has got two NVMe slots, so I could get an additional 2 gig or a 2 terabyte NVMe. Yeah, and then have that dedicated for the VM. I've never actually done that before. I've mostly used VirtualBox, and you just created like a VDI, I think it's called, virtual disk image. More recently, I've played with QEMU. It's kind of the Arch wiki, and this is what I'll be using because it gives you the GPU pass through for graphics acceleration. Like VirtualBox, it does handle some kind of 3D stuff, but it's not very good. It's not very powerful. With with basically with QEMU and the GPU pass through, my computer, like Arch Linux, won't actually be using the GPU. It'll be disabled, and Arch Linux will still just use what it's currently using, um, which is the APU, the CPU for graphics rendering. Then the card that's sat in there, I can I can say to the virtual machine, look, here's a whole extra graphics card that Arch Linux isn't using. You can use the whole thing, and you get near bare metal performance. So I've been told. The alternative is I could dual boot. I really don't like dual booting. It's like, oh, you want to go and work on this? Oh, I have to turn my computer off and turn it back on, and then oh, but I mean, I could just install Windows 11. I could just install Windows 11 and use WSL. No, 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 no. This is good. This is a good solution. This is a good solution. Um, if I need more RAM, if I find that 4 cores, 8 threads, and 24 gigs of RAM isn't enough for the very basic Godot games I'm making, then, I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. Yeah, this is what I'm gonna do. Okay. All right then. Fine. Let's close Blender. How far did I even get with this? Oh, how do you run the scene? Hey. Oh, no, that's... Oh, it's even... Oh, this is changes as well. Did I click on the wrong button? No, stop. Run current scene. Oh, man. Wait. Oh, no, that's not what I meant. Oh, what a pain. Okay. So that's changed as well. You notice I'm using a tiling window manager here, and this is popped up to the side, and it should be floating. Oh God, it's popped out. Oh no, what is going on? Everything's changed. Okay, over here. All right. What is going on? bar bat dot config i3 config. See if I can find what I'm thinking. Where is it? Right, here we go. I added this line to my config so that when I went to run the game in Godot, it would actually pop up in an appropriately sized window floating in the screen instead of being stuck on the side over here, it actually popped up in its window as it's supposed to, and that's what this line, see floating, enable. But they've changed things. Oh my god. So that doesn't work anymore. How did I... how do you... What was it? Is it X? It's not X prop. Is it? It is. Oh, ooh. X prop. Okay, you can stop now. Godot engine. Oh wait. For window Godot engine floating enable. Well, that should work then. Where's window? I think it might be that. Okay. Yeah. Class equals? Nope. Oh, why did I close that? What am I doing? X Xbox. Config for the class. Instance class. Hey, how comes this one? It didn't have that. Hasn't got that big icon like the last one did. What is going on, guys? Did I click on the wrong window? Yeah, I did. Okay. Oh, I'm getting so confused right now. Godot editor. Uh-huh. And then this one's engine. No. There's a both Godot editor now. Okay, what is this? Oh, okay, Godot engine is this. It's inside. Uh-huh. Alright. So it used to be this is what popped up. Now they've got it inside this the larger window. Why do I do this to myself? Hmm. Alright. So yeah, I know it's gonna work if I just change this to uh, editor. Reload that. Yeah, it worked. So watch magic. He knows what he's doing. Even though the game is not displaying at all. Okay, so something's working. Hmm. What was the time? Gosh, it's 10:15. Okay, right. Well, as I said, I've got a new job. I've got to go to the job tomorrow. I'm not starting the job tomorrow, but I've got to turn up and they're going to show me around. I've also got loads of other stuff to do. I've got to write a business plan. Um, I've got a list. I've got the whiteboard of truth. That's got a big list of things I've got to do tomorrow. So I'm going to call it there and think about what I've done. Think about the decisions I've made today for future Ricky to have to deal with. Wish me luck.